Hi everyone, welcome again to another Teacher Joseph video clip. This is my weekly lesson. We're going to begin to examine some of the phrases on here. And if you'd like a copy of this for yourself, just go over to teacherjoseph.com. It's in the tab at the top, which is called Weekly Lesson. Right, it says here, mindsets for language learning. Well, I'm sure you all know what a mindset is. It's a way of thinking, an opinion, a particular thought, you could say. It says, I had been studying Dutch for 3 months when a very predictable situation raised its ugly head. And that's how we talk about things which come up that are kind of nasty to deal with. They raise their ugly heads. So you can use it for a person, oh, he raised his ugly head, but more often it's used to describe a thing, maybe something at work you don't want to do, for example. I particularly dislike statistics. When statistics raises its ugly head, notice I'm using it as a singular here because we don't usually use this as a plural. Yeah, I always run away from numbers. Okay. I've never heard it being used as a plural. I suppose you could say when those two things at work raise their ugly heads, but it kind of loses an effect somehow. It happens over and over in language learning situations, and I was in some ways expecting it. It is the nature of the beast. And that's when we talk about things which quite often are uncomfortable for us. So, for example, if you say, well, I don't like dealing with prisoners, and you're a prison officer, someone might say, yeah, but that's the nature of the beast. That's the way it is. It's a characteristic of the thing that you're doing. So you have to put up with it. If I complain about people not being able to learn English, you might say, yeah, but you're a teacher. That problem, that's just the nature of the beast. It means that's the behavior of the thing that you're talking about. We never use it literally, it's always a metaphor. So, for example, um, I don't particularly like living in apartment blocks because I hear noise in the apartment above me. You could say, well, that's the nature of the beast. That's just the way it is. If you don't like it, then move. But if you live in an apartment block, you can expect to hear noises. That's the way it is. Or, to put it plainly, um, the dark side of the human mind. So I'm using that as a metaphor here. Right, so just continuing on, it says here, it all started when the students started to organize their own Zoom and WhatsApp groups to practice. There was nothing wrong with practicing with others, but I knew the stage was being set for something. The stage being set is a reference to acting. When you're at the theatre, what you look down on, if you're in the audience, you're looking at the stage, and the stage is being set. That means the stage is being prepared. So in this case, I knew something was being prepared. The stage was being set. So in other words, the background was being set. They were getting ready for everyone to take their places to begin acting. I wasn't a teacher in this class, but I sensed the great machine of negativity and mental assassination was ready to be switched on. This is an interesting one, mental assassination. That's when you work to destroy someone, not by confronting them, but by spreading rumors, opinions, and changing people's minds. It's a very, very dangerous activity, and you should be guarding against it because it can cause you problems physically, especially if the person finds out you've been spreading gossip, but it can also affect you mentally. Um, in a much deeper way because you can feel and sense what other people are doing to you. And that can have consequences, especially in something as mental as language learning. So, this machine of negativity and mental assassination was ready to be switched on, and already subtle signs had started to appear. Subtle signs, notice by the way they are subtle. The B is silent, subtle. It just means things which are not 100% clear. Subtle signs had started to appear. And I knew that something was rotten in the state of Denmark. Yes, this is an interesting one. This is something which comes from Shakespeare. If something isn't right, you can say something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Now, I'm using this in the past tense because my story is in the past tense. But yeah, if something isn't right at work or isn't right in the family, you can say, something's rotten in the state of Denmark. And it comes from the play Hamlet. Because of political correctness, we don't hear it very much these days. If you insult Denmark regularly, you could be accused of being racist. But I'm quoting this because it's a metaphor we still use in English. We hear it from time to time that something's rotten in the state of Denmark. It just means something isn't right. Another way to say that, trouble is brewing. And that's, of course, a reference to our tea drinking there. Trouble is, or in my case, was brewing. Okay, there we are. So, trouble was brewing just means trouble is beginning, trouble is coming. Trouble was brewing. Just like a cup of tea brews, so does trouble. Right, and that's it from me for today. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Quite a few things to cover there, a few useful ones. The nature of the beast, especially. If you're working hard, someone might say, stop complaining, What you're complaining about is just the nature of the beast. It's just the way it is. Stage being set, of course. A reference to theatre, to create an atmosphere. Mental assassination, when you attack someone by bringing them down, gossiping, etc., and how that can also have mental consequences, as we spoke about later in this lesson. Subtle signs, something rotten in the state of Denmark, and trouble was brewing. That's it from me. Enjoy your day. Take care. Bye.